Have you got anything else for me to do?
I don't. But you can ask my wife or the boys in the fields. Maybe they need some help.
Halt!
What is it?
You aren't getting in here, my boy.
Why not?
Looking the way you do, you're sure to cause nothing but trouble here, boy. And we got enough rabble in the city. We have no use for people without money.
I'm bringing some herbs for Constantino, the alchemist.
Really? Then you won't mind showing me what you brought. Looks good. All right, in you go. But don't cause any trouble. Understood? Move along.
What's up?
Listen, you now have access to the city, but that doesn't mean you can do whatever you want around here. If you don't stick to the rules, you'll lose all your rights here.
Hey! What's up?
It's been a long time since we've seen a stranger on our land who didn't want to skin us. I hope I'm not wrong about you. I'm Egil, and the strange bird over there is my brother, Anim.
How's the field work going?
Great, if those miserable field raiders weren't constantly destroying our harvest.
Why don't you do anything about the field raiders?
You're joking. Since I've been on this farm, I've killed so many of the beasts that I've lost count. But alas, new ones keep coming.
Hey, you! Who are you?
My name is Anim. I'm one of the field hands. And the half-pint over there is my brother Egil. We've been working here on the farm for Akil for several years.
How's the field work going?
Do you want to help? There's another hoe back there. Grab it and then head for the field. You just have to make sure that the field raiders don't surprise you. They'll tear your arm right off with one bite.
Why don't you do anything about the field raiders?
I've killed more of them than I can count. The only problem is they keep coming back.
Your brother told me the same.
What? That loafer? He always disappears just as soon as the beasts come onto our land. He shouldn't be talking such nonsense.
Onar's rebellion will have serious consequences. I prefer to keep out of it. Lately, it's gotten a lot more dangers out here, and the field raiders are becoming a real plague.
I've got no time for things like that.
That's nothing new.
Is there a problem?
No, everything's fine. It would be better if you left now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, everything's fine. I can't talk to you now.
Anything's possible.
Not now. I can't talk to you now.
Whatever it is that brought you here, you had better forget it and hit the road. Hey, you're still here. I'll give you a choice, stranger. Piss off or die.
I want to join you mercenaries.
Oh, really? Piss off, then. Oh, you're not gonna join anyone ever again.
Hey, yokel! Have you lost your way? Go back to your field and pull up a few turnips.
Better to watch out who you tell what.
I've got no
You're in
time
the
for things
wrong
like
place at the wrong time. So I guess that if you want to live, you'd better hit the road now. Get it?
Been there, done that.
There have been all kinds of rumors.
Everything all right?
He really should have known
As soon
better.
as anyone says anything wrong around here, the dance
Falling
starts.
down
So
drugs.
watch your step or there'll be a
Don't
slaughter.
have to tell
Will
me
you
that.
join the fight?
I'm not just gonna stand here when the ruckus starts, but I'm not gonna push it either.
It's as easy as that.
You don't have to ask me that.
Those cutthroats are threatening my husband. We are citizens of the town, loyal to the king, and the mercenaries are planning to rob us. Now don't you just stand there, do something. Help us.
No big deal.
Now don't you just stand there, do something. Help us. Now don't you just stand there, do something. Help us.
Nothing's going to change about that.
Hey,
You had your chance, but you don't seem to want to listen to reason. All right, so I'm gonna kill you now. Angardo, let's do them in.
That lowlife.
You poor sucker. He didn't even
Thank
have better
goodness.
take his weapon.
I thought my time had run out. My name is Akil. I've farmed this humble piece of land.
who were those people?
Those were mercenaries from Onar's farm. Those bastards. I'd been... well, thank goodness it didn't come to that.
What about a few gold pieces?
I'm afraid to disappoint you. All I can offer you is a meal.
I've gotta go.
So long.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What did the mercenaries want from you?
You don't know that? Onar, the landowner, hired them. They guard his farm and collect the rent for him. And that means they go from farm to farm and take whatever they want. And whoever can't pay gets a taste of their steel.
You know your way around this area.
Sure. What do you want to know?
Where can I find Onar's farm?
Just go back down the stone steps and follow the road to the east. At some point, you come to a tavern. From there, you go farther east until you come to the big fields. That's where the mercenaries hang out.
What is that tavern to the east of here?
Ask Randolph. He knows more about it than I do. He's been there a few times.
What is there in the woods behind your farm?
There's just a whole bunch of monsters back there. And the wolves are the least dangerous. A few bandits are also said to have their caves there. Well, they've left my farm alone so far.
I've gotta go.
So long. I really wish I could have done more for you.
Hey! Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
Why don't you defend yourself against Onar's tyranny?
For us farmers near the city, it makes more sense to stay on the good side of the city militia than to rely on Onar's mercenaries. On the other hand, there's Bengar and Sekub who would rather give up their farms than work for the king.
Where do I find the farms of Bengar and Sekub?
They're not far from the farm where the landowner lives. Go east from here and you'll find them.
Haven't you ever considered moving away from here?
It's not easy to get away from this part of the country. All the land is walled in by a high, insurmountable chain of mountains. The only two ways out of here are the pass to the Valley of Mines and the harbor. Since we cannot afford passage on a ship, and the Valley of Mines is a place of no return, we're going to have to stay here.
What do you know about the pass?
I've never been there myself, but it must be somewhere near Bengar's farm on the high pastures.
Look out for your husband.
I shall do my best.
Hey, you! Akil says you've got a meal for me.
We've hit some hard times ever since the barrier fell and the land is no longer safe. Here's a loaf of bread, a little meat, and some water. That's all I can spare, I'm afraid.
Hey! Your brother tells a similar story.
Ah, what exactly does he say?
That he has also done away with plenty of field raiders.
What? That loser can't even find his way home by himself. Tell him he shouldn't brag like that.
Hey, you! Your brother thinks you're a braggart.
What? He's actually got the nerve to say that? He'd better watch out or I'll teach him a lesson. Go and tell him that.
Wait a minute.
Enim is a bit irritated about this thing.
He shouldn't puff himself up so much, else I'll tear his head off. Tell him that.
Hey, you! I think the two of you should just relax.
The bastard didn't give in, am I right? I'll tear out his guts. Tell him that.
Why don't you tell him yourself?
I'll do that. Well, I think I'll take your weapon.
Wait a minute.
Do you want to cause even more trouble? I think it would be better if you left now.
Nothing to be had there.
Oh man, my head.
Hey, you!
Haven't you done enough damage? I think you should go now.
Everything all right?
Yes, I'm fine. That Alvarez has become bolder and bolder lately. Good thing that's over now. What I could use now is a good drop in the tavern.
You're not from around here, right?
I come from the Southern Isles. At some point they said they needed people in Khorinis because of that magic ore. But when I got there, they had this huge barrier in place, and I didn't want to go in there, so I started working in the harbor. Well, the ships stopped coming in, and so I went to work for Akil. I've had worse jobs, actually.
You hang out in the tavern?
That's right, but not recently. I cannot afford going there anymore.
What exactly is going on there in the tavern?
There's gambling there. Two fellows compete against each other. Whoever can hold the most beer wins. In the end, I did nothing but lose, and now I need to make some more money first.
Who did you go up against?
Against Rukar, that old good-for-nothing. So far, he's beaten me every time. But somehow, I have the creeping suspicion that the filthy swine has laced my beer with gin every time. I suspect he keeps the gin hidden in that damn chest of his, that lousy scumbag. Somebody ought to sneak some plain water into his chest. Then he could lace my beer all he wants. If I only had enough money to compete against him one more time.
Onar's rebellion will have serious
So much for you, lowlife. Gold. Okay, that's mine for starters.
Is there any interesting news?
Besides what I already told you? No.
That's the first I've heard of it.
Halt, stranger. I am Lothar,
Tell me you didn't know that.
paladin of the king and humble servant of Innos,
Believe everything
your
you hear.
lord. Our commander, Lord
No
Hagen,
better off myself.
has entrusted me with the task of explaining to all newcomers the new laws which apply to all inhabitants of the city.
Is it really
Since
true?
people have started simply vanishing all over this town, everyone needs to watch out that they don't suffer the same fate.
I'd have gone about it differently.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
The townspeople are simply disappearing?
Yes, it seems to be more every day. It's most annoying that the militia have still not been able to discover what's behind these strange occurrences. Small wonder that the town's inhabitants are very wary of strangers right now. So don't provoke them when you're in town. Understood?
I can't help him.
I already thought as much.
All right. Explain the rules of the city to me.
First, the Honorable Paladin Lord Hagen resides in the upper quarter, along with his troops. That is why access to the upper quarter is allowed only to honorable citizens. Second, the town hall in the upper quarter is now the command post of the Paladins. Only the Paladins themselves and members of the militia have access to it. And third, whoever is accused of a crime must exonerate himself with the commander of the militia. Any questions?
I never knew that.
But he knew that all along.
How do I become a citizen of the town?
Only those with regular jobs will be considered citizens of the town. But don't think that you'll be admitted to Lord Hagen just because you're a citizen of the town. As a citizen, you have access to the upper quarter, nothing more. Only as a member of the militia will you have access to the town hall.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
How do I get to the upper quarter?
Say, are you listening to me at all? You're not a citizen of this town. You can save yourself the trip. The guards won't let you in. The entire area behind the inner gate is off limits to you.
It's not what I heard.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Where can I find the commander of the city guard?
Lord Andre can be found in the barracks at the other end of the city.
He really didn't deserve that.
Where can I spend the night here?
If you're looking for a place to sleep, go to the hotel directly across from the barracks. The Paladins pay for the lodging of all travelers who come to the city. The traveling traders from the marketplace are also lodged there.
From my opinion.
But no, he insisted.
Where can I find work?
You'll have to apply as an apprentice to one of the masters here in the lower part of the city. As soon as a master accepts you, you are a citizen of the town. However, the other masters must agree to it. That's the custom here in Khorinis. If you were thinking about looking for work in the Harbor District, forget it. The scum of the city live there. Don't even go there. You would regret it.
I've got my own opinion about that.
How do I get accepted into the militia?
By express command of Lord Hagen, only citizens of the town will be admitted into the militia.
I see.
If you want to know more, speak to Lord Andre in the barracks.
You didn't know that.
What do I have to do to get armor like yours?
What? You aren't even a member of the militia. You're not even a citizen. How can you even think of being allowed to wear the armor of a paladin? Only a few militia soldiers, those who have performed extraordinary deeds, have been granted that honor so far. If you want to be a paladin, you have a long road ahead of you, my boy.
No, he insisted he knew better.
I have an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
The Honorable Lord Hagen is not receiving anyone. Lord Andre, the commander of the city guard, is responsible for all issues pertaining to the common folk.
I knew that would be a problem.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
I have come to get the Eye of Innos.
The sacred Eye of Innos? How do you know about
really
that?
believe that?
You're not a member of the Order.
A magician told me about it.
I don't know what his motives were when he entrusted one of the secrets of our Order to you. But he certainly didn't mean for you to get your fingers on it.
But
I don't want to hear any more about it.
Business.
listen, the city is threatened by dragons.
That can't be true. Another lunatic. We have enough unrest in the city as it is. And without some dimwit scaring people with fairy tales about dragons, I immediately locked up the last person who was here telling dragon tales and sent him to the Valley of Mines with the prison transport. So mind your tongue. We can't use anyone here who spreads panic among the people.
Somebody already reported the dragons here?
Yes. The fellow's name was Diego. I think so, in any case. I warned him just like you. But the lunatic just wouldn't stop getting on my nerves.
I've got to go.
If I hear one more time that you are telling people here about dragons, you will be in big trouble. Do I make myself clear?
Don't say you didn't know that.
I'm no better off myself.
Not as much.
Halt! No one may enter the storeroom!
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
Hardly know who to believe these days.
Are you deaf? One step closer and I'll chop you to bits.
I never knew that.
Halt! No one may enter the storeroom.
It was just like you said.
It's not what I heard.
That was quite obvious.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
I'll never get this open without the right key.
You didn't know that.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I'll never get this open without the right key.
It was just like you said. So why won't they listen to me?
You hardly know who to believe these days.
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
Hello, stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
Got my own opinion about that.
But no.
I was actually on my way to see the Paladins.
There's little chance of that. Since the Paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? Nah, I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Mateo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
Where can I find Mateo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
I'm not touching that.
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Mateo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
It can't go on like this forever.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
What do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore.
It was obvious
And
all
what we get
along.
from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
Believe that.
Tell me more about the Peasants' Revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases. But now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries. The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
What do you know about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony. And their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible
He never would have thought
times.
of that himself.
Show me your wares.
First I've heard of it.
You listened to the wrong people.
I knew that would be a problem.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
I don't know why he gets so worked up.
If he doesn't see that, I can't help him.
You can only wait and see.
It's a bad business.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
It's a bad business.
I don't believe this is gonna change.
See? That wasn't so hard.
Quite obvious.
What's new?
Since the collapse of the barrier, open trade with the big farmer has abruptly stopped. Who knows what he's plotting? There's something fishy going on.
Nobody will learn anything from
What's interesting in this town?
You can buy almost anything you can imagine here, either from the merchants in the marketplace or in the lower part of the city. But almost everything that you can buy also costs a bit. If you don't have enough money, then maybe Lamar the moneylender can help you. His house is at the beginning of the harbor district, as you come from the lower part of town.
Why get so worked up?
Who are the important figures around here?
Up until recently, it was the governor and the judge. But then the paladins came and took over the city. Lord Hagen is their leader. He's the new governor, more or less. Lord Andre is his right-hand man. He leads the city guard and acts as a judge as well. Everyone in the city who's guilty of something has to answer to him.
Quite obvious.
That was obvious.
How can I become a citizen of this town?
Go look for a decent job.
First I've heard of it.
Everyone who has a set occupation in Khorinis counts as a citizen of the town.
Thought of that himself.
What can you tell me about this area?
You are now in the lower part of town. Where do you want to go?
Wouldn't be so sure.
I'm looking for the temple.
Walking through the underpass from the smithy will take you to the temple square.
Believe that.
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
But he knew that all along.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
What's new?
Ever since they took the barrier away, this town has been overrun with bandits. The paladins don't do a thing. Why the hell are they even here then?
How do I go about orienting myself in this city?
It's not that easy finding your way around here, is it? Even the signposts don't always help. If you have a bad sense of direction, you'd better go down to the harbor, assuming you can find your way there, and look for the cartographer's house. It's right next to the tavern at the quay. Brahim will certainly have a map of the city for you.
Who are the influential citizens of Khorinis?
Try the blacksmith or the carpenter in the lower part of town. You'll find a few other well-respected masters there, too. If anyone here besides the city guards and the paladins has anything to say, then it's these men.
How do I go about becoming a citizen of this town?
You want to settle here, now? When all the signs are pointing towards the end of the world?
I wasn't planning on staying forever.
Well, if you want my advice, you should hot-foot it out of here as long as you still can. But if you insist, you should talk to one of the influential citizens here.
What can you tell me about this area?
You're now in the lower part of town. Where do you want to go?
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know. What's new?
Everyone has been worried lately. It's not enough that the paladins have made themselves at home here. Now people are constantly disappearing in the strangest fashion. It's about time the militia finally did something about it.
What interesting things are there to see here?
The big ship that the Paladins came in is in the harbor. It's an enormous boat. You have to take a look at it, but I can't imagine that they'll let you on board. The Paladins guard the ship like the crown jewels. No wonder. It's the only seaworthy vessel anchored anywhere, far and wide.
Who are the most important citizens in this town?
Besides the Paladins, the master craftsmen in the lower part of town. They are all very important.
I want to become a citizen of this town.
And why are you telling me that? Go to one of the master craftsmen in the lower part of the city. Maybe if you're lucky, one of them is looking for an apprentice. Otherwise, you'll have to go to the governor and have yourself registered as a citizen. But right now, you can forget that. The governor isn't in charge anymore since the Paladins came, and their leader, Lord Hagen, is guaranteed not to have time for things like that.
What can you tell me about this area?
You are now in the lower part of town. Where do you want to go?
Thanks, that's all I wanted to know.
What do you want here? Go! Smart kid.
Smart kid.
Hey, you're not quite as stupid as you look.
It's a bad business.
And it's gonna get even worse.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Go away. Don't tell me that.
There's nothing you can do about it.
That's not what I heard.
That was obvious all along.
Hey, you!
What do you want?
I wanted to have a look around here.
Then where exactly are you headed?
What interesting things are there to see here?
There's a cat house here and a tavern. The landlord's name is Khorinis. If it's information you want, he'll be the right person to talk to. Do you, need money, by the way?
Has anything exciting happened lately?
Not long ago, the city guards turned the entire harbor district upside down. They were searching for stolen property. There've been plenty of thefts here lately, especially in the better quarters. They're obviously trying to blame the poor suckers at the harbor for everything.
Actually, I was on my way to the upper quarter.
Yeah, right. And I was about to board a ship and have it take me to the king for an audience. People like you and me haven't been allowed in the upper quarter since the Paladins came.
Are you a citizen of this town?
If you mean do I live here, yeah. But still they won't let me into the upper quarter. Only the tops can get in there, or the merchants and craftsmen from the lower end of town. The people from the harbor district don't carry much weight in Khorinis. There isn't even a regular militia patrol down here.
Are you giving it away?
No, but right across the street here is the house of Lamar, the moneylender. I'm sure he'll give you a few gold pieces. Just go ahead.
Do you work for Lamar?
Smart kid.
Has anything exciting happened lately?
Not long ago, the city guards turned the... They were searching. They're up.
That's terrible.
You should really have known better.
What's new?
I wonder why the Paladins are here at all. They're holding the town hall, the barracks, and the harbor, but they haven't actually done anything so far. If they were here about the orcs or the bandits, they would have done something ages ago. There must be another reason. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Things I can tell you.
That's not what I
It's a bad business.
Been there, done that.
Everybody knows by now.
Hey, I don't know you. What do you want here? Are you headed for the tavern?
Yes, do you mind?
You've got no business here, Runt.
Calm down. All I want to do is drink a beer.
Okay, but it'll cost you 50 gold pieces to get in.
Forget it. You won't get a single coin.
Then I'll take everything you have. As soon as you're lying on the ground in front of me.
Not bad.
Gold? Okay, that's mine for starters. I think I'll take your weapon for safekeeping.
What do you want?
I wanted to have a look. What interest
that to you?
Are you...
What? You...
Actually,
the people
has
not they're up.
That's no secret.
Everybody knows by now.
I couldn't care less.
That's not what I heard.
Nobody wants to know.
Smart kid.
Ah, you've come just in time. I'm in need of an assistant for a magic experiment. I'm sure you're eager to do me a favor for science's sake.
Easy, my friend. First tell me what this is all about.
I have developed a new spell, a spell of oblivion. I've already successfully carried out a few practical applications, but I don't have time to conduct one final test.
What's in it for me if I help you?
I could teach you how to brew potions. I know the recipes for healing and mana essences, and for potions of great speed.
Tell me more about the experiment and the spell.
The spell serves to make somebody forget various events. So far, I have only found it to work when the person in question is angry, for instance. If he has been knocked down or robbed. Even if he has only witnessed such a deed, he will scratch it from his memory.
So I'm supposed to knock somebody down and then put a spell on him?
Yes, I think you get the point. But to make somebody angry, it is enough to attack him. You don't have to knock him down. So you should pick somebody who's by himself. If there are other people around, you'll just get into trouble with Lord Andre. Also, it makes no sense to cast the spell on someone who's busy attacking you. Wait for the right moment.
All right, I'll try out that spell.
Then take this spell scroll and find yourself a suitable guinea pig. Once you're done, come back and tell me how it went.
About the experiment.
Have you been successful then? Or have you just wasted the spell scroll? Huh? If you need more spell scrolls, you can buy them from me.
Show me your wares.
Hey, you! Where you going? No matter what your plans are, there'll be plenty of time later. You're right in front of the Pearl of Khorinis, the Red Lantern. This is the most beautiful brothel in all of Myrtana, damn it. Sailors from the most remote corners of the world dock here just to spend a few nights in the Red Lantern. And now, it's you who has the chance, nay, the honor of spending a night with Nadja, the most passionate flower of the gods. Come on in, and you're going to experience what others cannot even dream of.
He simply talks too much. That's an open secret.
Hey.
Hey, I can take care of you now, baby. Talk to Bromar if you want to have some fun.
I just want to ask you a few questions about those missing people.
I could tell you a thing or two, but not here, honey.
Then let's go upstairs.
Fine, but you get it settled with Bromar first. I don't want any trouble. Can't keep anything to himself.
Hey, you!
I can only talk to you if you speak to Bromar first.
Are you the one who runs this place?
I am Bromo, this is my house, and these are my girls. I like my girls. And if you like my girls too, then you'll pay for it, 50 gold pieces. And don't get the idea of making trouble here.
He'd better shut up. And he works all day too.
Are all your girls accounted for?
Of course they are. Or do you think I want to go to jail over something like that?
I wasn't asking about your payroll. I mean, are they all present, or have any gone missing?
Oh yeah. Actually, one of my girls has up and left. Her name's Lucia. I reported it to the militia too, but they claim they haven't found a trace of her yet.
How long has Lucia been missing?
Several days. I don't know exactly how long. I assume she ran off with one of her suitors, eh? That bitch made off with part of my savings, a really valuable golden dish, eh? If I get hold of her, I'll give her what for. So how is that any business of yours, huh? Do you want to have fun or not?
That's what I've always
I must be crazy. What are you doing here?
Hey, Larish, you old scoundrel, how did you get here?
I was able to escape to the Valley of Mines just in time, together with Lee and some of the other boys.
You don't have to ask me.
You remember Lee, don't you?
I never knew that.
Of course I remember Lee.
I got out of the colony with him then, just after the barrier was destroyed. He and his boys are now on the farm of Onar, the landowner. He made a deal with the farmer. He and his boys defend the farm, and Onar feeds them in return.
That was obvious all along.
Tell me more about Lee and his mercenaries.
What do you want to know?
I don't want to hear that.
Why aren't you with Lee and his mercenaries?
But I am, just not on the farm. You could say I'm our outpost in the city. We don't want the ship to sail without us.
What ship were you talking about?
It's on the open sea harbor, behind the cliffs. Lee and a few of his people really want to get away from here. But that could take a while.
Why?
You'd better ask Lee about that. If you meet him, he's got plans.
How do I find the landowner's farm?
It's quite simple. You leave the seaport by the east gate and then follow the path towards the east. I can take you there if you want.
Tell me more about the mercenaries.
Well, if you're as tough as you were back then, you shouldn't have any problems with them. Most of them are ruffians, and if you can't stand up to them, you won't get far. If you're squeamish, you don't have a chance of joining them.
I'm not telling you anything new.
Those are all just rumors.
Can you teach me something?
Sure. I can help you become stronger and more dexterous if you like.
Teach me something.
I'm no better off myself.
Do you really think?
I must talk to the paladins by any means.
What do you want from them?
What I heard.
They've got a powerful amulet, the Eye of Innos. I must have it.
And you think they'll give it to you? You'll never get into the upper end of town.
I'll find a way somehow.
Do you
Sure.
really think?
If you want to ingratiate yourself with the citizens or play errand boy for the militia.
Do you know why the paladins are here?
Nobody knows for sure. Lots of people think it's because of the orcs, but I think there's another reason. It probably has something to do with the old penal colony.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Okay, let's go.
I cannot leave here until we know more about the missing people, or someone else takes over my duties.
Okay, let's go.
I cannot leave here until we know.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
You have to feel sorry for the poor guy.
I never knew that.
It's better
Hey.
watch out who you tell what.
Ahoy, you landlubber. Looks like you're stranded here. You look a bit pale around the gills.
Nobody ever asks.
Never mind, my lad. All you need is a good stiff sea breeze.
What are you doing here?
Back when I was a young man, I went to sea and rode through many a big storm. No big deal, not at all. But that old tower came closest to what I call a home. I haven't been up there in ages.
Why not?
Ever since these scallywags took over my lighthouse, I haven't dared get closer to it than 20 feet. Really bad rabble, that. They're criminals from the Valley of Mines, you know. There was this big bang on the other side of the mountains, and they swarmed all over the land like flies. Now they're hiding out everywhere, even in my lighthouse. I think they're on the lookout for any ship they can raid. Ah, let them. Then at least they'd be out of my tower.
Learn anything from me.
Do you come to town often?
I always say a town is only as good as its harbor. A harbor is the gate to the world. That's where everyone meets and where everything starts. Once the harbor goes to the dogs, the rest of the city will follow soon.
Tell me about the harbor.
The harbor of Khorinis isn't what it used to be. There's nothing but riffraff hanging about. The ships don't come anymore, and trade is dead. This harbor's about to go under.
So why don't you leave?
Nobody would take an old sea dog like me on his ship these days. Most people think that old Jack's got the gout in his rotten old bones.
And are they right?
Balderdash. Once I've got those planks beneath me feet again, I'll feel like a young whippersnapper.
What do you mean by riffraff?
Look at them, the lazy rabble. Most of them don't even know what work is. All they do is drink all day and spend their last pay at the brothel. I tell you, stay away from them.
You listen to the wrong people.
Why are the ships no longer coming?
They all say that once the war is over, everything will be like it used to be. That's a load of bilge water. I tell you, a sailor can see when a town's going downhill. A sailor feels that in his blood, and I can tell you, forget about this harbor. Its heyday's over.
There's nothing you can do about it.
You don't have to ask me that.
That doesn't surprise me.
What are you doing here?
My name is Brahim. I draw maps and sell them. Since you're new here, maybe you could use a map of the city? It's quite affordable and very useful until you know your way around.
Is it true that some townspeople have simply vanished?
So I've heard, but I'm not sure whether it's really true. Just look around you. Does this rat hole look like the place where you want to spend your golden years? Small wonder that people are getting themselves out of here.
I agree with you completely.
Show me your maps.
You should have known that.
I'm not telling you anything new.
Who said that?
But no, he insisted he knew better. But no.
As if I didn't have enough
he
problems.
knew better. He doesn't see that. I can't help it. He never would have thought of that himself.
Some problems solve themselves.
It's a bad business. That's all just
It's totally obvious.
That was obvious all along.
That's nothing new.
That's been known a long time.
Nobody ever asks me.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
Nobody ever asks me.
Come back again later. I'm sure to have something new for you then.
Nothing's ever going to change that.
I'm not telling you anything new.
Why haven't I heard about this before?
It's not what I heard.
I don't want to hear that.
Will it ever change?
Some problems solve themselves.
Don't tell me you didn't know that.
You don't have to ask me that.
I'd have gone about it differently.
Do you really think?
I'm no better off myself.
There've been all kinds of rumors.
I can't read that.
That's nothing new.
He never would have thought of that himself.
These were all just rumors.
I'm not telling you anything new.
Anything's possible. It's better to watch out who you tell what.
There's nothing you can do about it.
As if I didn't have enough problems. That's nothing new.
I agree with you completely.
I can't read that.
You already know what I think.
I'd have gone about it differently.
I don't want to hear that.
It's really not my problem.
It's totally obvious.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Let's wait and see what happens.
You hardly know who to believe these days.
Nobody ever asks me. He should have known better.
He never would have thought of that himself.
Why haven't I heard about this before?
Hey, I don't know you. What do you want here? Are you headed for the tavern?
Nothing surprises me anymore.
No, I'm not headed for the tavern.
Yeah, that's what I would have said. But that isn't important, and that's why we can get straight down to business. Since you're new here, I'll make you an offer. You give me 50 gold pieces and you can go. That's your entrance fee for the tavern.
That'll only cause more trouble.
You listen to the wrong people.
Let's find out what the militia thinks of that.
The militia isn't here. And do you know why they aren't here? This here is the harbor district, runt. None of the militia will pick a fight with me down here. At the most, they go to the Red Lantern. You see, it's just you and me.
That was obvious all along.
But I don't want to go to the tavern.
You know, sooner or later, everyone wants to go into the tavern. So you can pay right now. Then you'll have it over with.
Forget it. You won't get a single coin.
Then I'll take everything you have. As soon as you're lying on the ground in front of me.
Do you really believe?
That'll only cause more trouble.
You listen to the wrong people.
Stop right there, you lowlife! So, I've got you after all.
Oh my goodness!
Did it ever change?
Stop it at once! Oh my goodness!
Son of a bitch. So, I've got you after all. Stop right there, you lowlife!
Where did you pick that up then?
You listen to the wrong
Stop it at once! No fighting here. Let that be a lesson.
Nothing to be
Not
had
even
there.
any gold.
Nothing there.
Wait and see.
It's a bad business.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
We'll see about that.
Trying to pick another fight with me, are you?
That's really not my
You know your way about the harbor, don't you?
Sure thing. Why?
Listen to me.
What kind of rumors are floating about?
Around here, we don't like people who ask too many questions. Especially not if they're strangers.
That's been known a long time.
Why don't I see any militia?
They don't dare come in here. We take care of things ourselves.
It's really not my problem.
How's the shipping traffic?
The only ship that's come here recently is the Paladin ship. It's over there, behind the rocky ridge to the southwest.
That was quite obvious.
You hardly know who to believe these days. Is it really true?
I've got my own opinion about that.
It's really not my problem.
I knew that would be a problem.
It's really not my problem.
Don't say you didn't know that.
Did you pick that up then? That's all just gossip.
Take care of everything for everybody.
That's the first I've heard of it.
He simply talks too much.
That's the first I've heard of it.
That doesn't surprise me.
I won't tell him.
It can't go on like this forever.
There's nothing.
I'll never get this open without the right key.
This is gonna change.
I'd know better off myself.
This way, nothing could exist at all. No light and no darkness.
What do you want? I'm not giving anything away.
So he set himself between his brothers in order to
I'm looking to become an apprentice.
Really? And with whom are you going to sign up?
There, where Adanos stood, was a place in which Enos and Beliar had no power. And in this place, order and chaos were equal, and so the sea was created. And the sea released the land, and there arose.
Hey, you, wait. You look familiar to me.
What do you want?
I've seen your face before somewhere, right? Here, we found this picture on some bandits we picked up a few days ago. It looks a lot like you. Apparently, those guys were looking for you.
Gee, I'd never have thought of that myself.
Very funny. What did those guys want from you?
Ask them yourself. You've got them safely locked up, haven't you?
No, they're dead.
I guess we'll never know then.
If you're in some kind of trouble, go talk to Lord Andre. Maybe he can help you. You'll find him in the barracks.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis, by the explicit order of the what Beliar had done, and he also bestrode the land and chose the human. And Enos spoke to him, and the human became his subject. And Enos gave unto him
I'll
a
never get this
portion
open
of
without
his
the right key.
divine power, so that he might undo the work of Beliar. And Beliar spoke to another creature, but Adanos brought forth the tide, and the creature was washed from the face of the earth. But with it, the trees and animals were also washed away, and a deep sadness overcame Adanos. Never again shall you walk upon my land,
Ah, customer, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a room.
Ah, you're in the right place then.
One of the paladins told me that I could spend the night here for free.
Yes, yes. Just go up the stairs. We still have 1 or 2 beds free.
Why do the paladins pay for everything?
I don't know what that's all about either. For one thing, I think they want to get all the poor suckers off the streets so they don't make any mischief. And for another, they want to get on the good side of the traveling traders. Now that the farmers are rebelling, we have to rely on the traders for provisions. Besides, I think they want to improve the morale in the city a bit. Lord Andre has even arranged for free beer to be given out at the Gala Square.
Who's staying here at the moment?
Almost all of them are traveling traders from the market.
Aha!
Don't even think about messing with their stuff. I don't want any trouble here.
I have a few questions about the city. Tell me about the town.
Khorinis is one of the wealthiest cities within the kingdom, even if it doesn't look like it at the moment. But since the Orc War started, trade has almost come to a complete standstill. The king has requisitioned the entire merchant fleet for military service, which means that hardly any ships come into the harbor now. So, the supply of goods is very scarce now, and many citizens of the town are very worried. Nobody really knows what the future will bring. There's basically nothing we can do but wait and see what happens. It's not like we can change anything.
Where can I buy something around here?
The market is directly in front of the door. You should be able to find everything there. There are a few more shops and craftsmen on the other side of town. Most of them are near the other city gate. Also, there's a fishmonger in the harbor district. His shop is right at the harbor. He's easy to find.
I have a few questions about the city.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted.
I'll never get this open without the right key.
Each inhabitant of the city is to prepare himself accordingly. Everyone is to begin training in the skills of combat.
Hey you, I have a proposition for you.
What do you want?
I want my old stall in the marketplace back. Sarah snatched it away from me, but she has had that spot long enough. I want her to give up the stall.
And what's my part in this?
I will give you a letter to stick in her pocket. Then you go to Andre and tell him that Sarah is selling weapons to Onar. She lands in prison, you pocket the bounty, and I get the stall. You have 2 days to accomplish this.
What's in it for me?
When I have the stall, you will get a weapon from me, and a damned good one.
What will happen if I refuse to do that?
That would be truly stupid of you, because you see, I know that you're an escaped convict. If that gets around, it could do considerable harm to your situation in the city.
No, I want no part of this.
That was the wrong decision, boy. We shall speak again.
Show me your wares.
Take your pick.
I've got to go.
Suit yourself.
Wait a minute. I've got to go.
Suit yourself.
I've got to go.
Suit yourself.
Don't bother me, I'm on duty. Don't bother me, I'm on duty.
Wait a minute.
I am Hacker, the weapons dealer. Every man should carry a weapon these days, especially when venturing outside of the city walls.
Tell me more about the area around the city.
It's gotten too dangerous out there, because of the bandits for one thing, and also on account of wild beasts. Even the animals don't seem to get enough to eat in these crappy times. They're venturing closer to the city all the time.
Do you know anything about the Paladins?
Yes. Those guys are ruining my business. All you can buy in this entire town is a short sword at most. They've helped themselves to anything that's longer than 1.5 feet. In return, I now get to live in the hotel free of charge.
Where do you get your weapons from?
Harad the Smith has been my supplier up to now. Now all he does is make stuff for the Paladins. He works for those guys day and night like a madman, without pay. He thinks it's his duty. All I can offer you now is my remaining stock.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
What do you know about the disappearances of the citizens of Khorinis?
I have seen many pass through the eastern city gate. Some of those who came I had never seen before in my life. And many of those who went out never came back. But what happened the other day was really quite strange. There was this fellow who came here. I think his name is Joe. He bragged that he would soon come into some serious money. He claimed that he knew how to get into one of the city towers, where the militia keep their arms. I haven't seen him since, even though I used to bump into him around the same time every day. I reported this to the militia. I thought that maybe he had been caught and thrown into the dungeon. But Lord Andre had no idea what I was talking about. He didn't even know the fella.
What do you know about the bandits?
What do I know about them? They robbed me on my way to the city, and I'm not the only one. They've been up to their tricks for quite a while. The militia tried to track them down, but without any success.
I don't want to hear that anymore.
Do you know who in the militia took part in the search?
The fellow's name is Pablo. He and a few others went looking for the bandits, but they didn't find them.
Do you know where I can find Pablo?
Is it really true?
He patrols around the city.
Who said that?
You'll find him either at the Temple Square or in the lower part of town.
He doesn't see that. I can't help him.
Where did they hold you up?
Near Akil's farm. Just go out of the city gate from here. Follow the road to the right. After a while, you'll get to a few steps. The bastards came from there. I bet they have their hideout back there in the woods.
That's what I've always said.
I'll deal with it.
What? You want to take on the bandits? By yourself?
You really think?
You're quite a good fighter, huh?
How much is the matter worth to you?
That's a dangerous business. Well, it's all right with me. I'll pay you 100 gold pieces if you defeat the bandits.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
Show me your wares.
Don't tell this to anyone.
You listen to the wrong people. I agree with you completely.
That'll only cause more trouble.
These are bad times.
There's nothing you can do about it. I agree with you completely.
Those are all just rumors.
That's what I've always said.
Don't tell me you didn't know that. It's a bad business.
He should have known better.
These are bad times.
Is it really true? There's nothing you can do about it.
He should have known better.
It's not what I heard. He never would have thought of that himself.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. Martial law is immediately declared in all cities and regions of the realm.
Hey.
One more thing.
Listen, kid. I've got important things to do right now. We'll talk again later, got it?
What do you want here? Go. See? That wasn't so hard.
Well, what have we here?
Have you no manners? That's disgusting. Oh, is this filthy rabble. Haven't you a job where you ought to be? But I suppose no one would miss a down-at-heel fellow like you, hey? Well, if you had as much gold as I do, you wouldn't have to work either. But you'll never be that rich.
I see I'm gonna have lots of fun with you.
I've got no time for things like that.
I asked you who you are.
I am Valentino, the handsome, bon vivant and ladies' man. Poor in cares, rich in wisdom and gold, and the women throw themselves at me. If you have problems, keep them. I don't need them.
Do you have anything else to tell me?
Make yourself popular, never promise anything to anyone, take what you can, and watch out that you don't get into a quarrel with the militia. Or with jealous husbands, of course. They're the worst, let me tell you.
Do you have anything else to tell me?
I've told you everything you need to know. The rest is up to you.
That's the first I've heard. He really should have known better.
Hey.
I'm not telling you anything new.
What's new?
Everyone has been worried lately. It's not enough that the paladins have made themselves at home. It's about time.
His decision, wasn't
And he works all day.
Hey, you!
believe everything here. Thing all over again.
I don't believe that.
It's bad business.
I don't believe this is gonna change. It's no secret.
Can I get a drink here?
If you have gold, you can even eat here if you like.
So sure. Things I could tell you.
And how's business going?
Ah, don't remind me. Lord Andre is serving free beer at the Gallows Square. Hardly anybody comes here now, except for the rich people from the upper quarter.
What's wrong with them?
Yeah, some of those swells could really get on your nerves. Take that Valentino, for instance. I can't stand the sight of him. But I can't pick my customers. I need every coin I can make. What little I had managed to save has been stolen, along with all my silver.
It was just like you said. That isn't true.
You've been robbed?
Yep, some time ago. It was still rather crowded that night, and I was doing the rounds serving beer. I wasn't gone long from behind the counter, but it was long enough for those bastards. I went to see the militia about it. But they couldn't find a thing, of course. Yeah. They prefer to get plastered on free beer.
But that's terrible.
Tell me about the missing townspeople.
I heard that a lot of them went missing down by the harbor. Small wonder with all that's going on down there. Even Thorben, the carpenter in the lower part of town, has lost his apprentice. Hakon, one of the merchants in the marketplace, had an especially strange tale to tell. He said that there was this fella that he used to bump into every day, and then suddenly he vanished off the face of the earth. He even went to see the militia about it. Townspeople all pretty much panicked after that. I don't know what to make of it. I think it's all nonsense. Khorinis is a rough city, and many dangers lurk outside her gates. Those who don't stay within the city walls will be attacked by bandits or eaten by wild animals. Yeah, it's that simple.
Everybody knows by
Is it really true?
What is it with this Valentino?
He's filthy rich and has no need to work.
Is it really true?
And he brags about it to everybody, whether you want to hear it or not. He drinks a lot and always stays until the end. And then early in the morning, he totters back to the upper quarter. It's the same every day.
Better off myself.
What do I have to do to get into the upper quarter?
Well, you need to be a citizen of the town.
That's all just gossip.
Go find some work, preferably with a craftsman in the lower part of town. That'd make you a citizen. Well, and if that's still not enough, go talk to Lord Andre at the barracks. Maybe he'll let you join the city guard. They can go into the upper quarter, too.
That's no secret.
Show me your wares.
I won't tell her a thing from now
Telling
on.
you anything new. I've got my own opinion about that.
That's not what I heard.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
I knew that would be a problem.
He simply talks too
That's
much.
been known a long time.
I'm not touching that.
There's more, believe me.
Really?
How's it going?
You're not from around here, are you? Never mind. Neither am I.
Where did you hang around before?
In the woods, hunting scavengers and wolves together with some hunters. But I gave it up. These are dangerous times. There's a lot of riffraff running around out there. That's all just gossip.
Where can I find the other hunters?
We had our camp outside near the tavern halfway to Onar's farm. But I don't know whether there's anyone left in the camp now. There used to be two of us here in town until a few days ago. My friend Trokar is an excellent hunter.
Believe everything you hear.
Sooner or later.
So, where is your friend Trokar now?
Well, it's a curious story. Only a few days ago, we were both standing at the bar in Corrigan's tavern discussing the hunt. Don't ask me what happened next. I had had a few by then. I vaguely remember Trokar saying that he was going out to get a few swamp weed reefers. He never came back. Will it ever change?
Where does one get swamp weed reefers?
Somewhere down at the harbor, as far as I know. Ever change?
Didn't you go looking for him?
No, but I reported it to the militia. But they haven't been able to find him yet. I hope he didn't get attacked by a wolf, or worse. I'm afraid that I'll stumble over his body someday when I'm out hunting. I don't think I could bear that.
That's not what my husband telling
you anything new.
Why don't we go hunting together?
With two, it isn't so dangerous, that's true. Do you know anything about hunting then? I mean, do you know how to skin an animal?
No.
Then it wouldn't be worth it. Come back when you learn something.
Can you teach me something about hunting?
I can teach you how to sneak properly and how to handle a bow. If you want to learn how to skin an animal, go to Bosper. He's the one who taught me. I'm not telling you anything new.
It was just
I used to say that myself.
He can't keep anything to himself.
Business.
I've heard a thing or two.
Nobody wants to know.
Everybody knows by
I agree with you completely.
Nobody ever asked for my opinion.
But that's
He
terrible.
would have never thought of that himself.
So why won't they listen to me?
You don't say.
That's been known a long time.
These are bad times.
But no, he insisted he knew better.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
I'm not telling you anything
Hear ye, inhabitants of Khorinis. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. From this moment onward, Lord Andre will take the supreme command of our militia. All the citizens of this city who have martial skills at their disposal.
That's been known a long time.
We can only wait and see.
That's not what I heard.
Don't say you didn't know that. Nobody ever asked for my opinion. Change.
I'd have gone about it differently.
I'm not touching that. I hardly know what to believe in.
That was obvious all along.
I'm not touching that. I've got my own opinion about
Do you really not believe that?
That will only cause more trouble.
Hey, you got no business here, understand?
Who are you?
That's none of your business. I'm the boss here, okay?
The boss of what? Of those chests?
Hey, the storeroom was under my supervision, got it? So piss off, or else I'll bash in your skull.
Inhabitants of Khorinis, by the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. Due to the general situation, the forest and wilderness near the city are to be avoided for your
watch out when you tell one. As if I didn't have enough.
I've heard a thing or two.
It's better to watch out when you tell one. It's totally obvious.
What's new?
Since the collapse of the barrier,
Asked for my opinion.
As if I didn't have enough, bro.
You didn't get that from me. I don't know why it gets so
That'll
worked
only
up.
cause more trouble. Why haven't I heard about this before?
I knew that would be a problem. I'm in enough trouble
As
as
if I
it
didn't
is.
have enough problems.
Hey, you!
Anything's possible.
You really didn't.
What are you doing here?
What am I supposed to do here? I'm drinking. But if you mean, what do I do all day? I arrange fights.
You said.
You arrange fights?
Every day, from noon until evening. Behind the warehouse in the Harbor District. Home sweet home.
But he knew that all along.
It can't go on like this forever.
What are the rules for the fight?
Quite simple. All regular weapons are allowed, no bows or crossbows, and no magic. We fight until one of us drops. And as soon as one of us is flat on his back, it's over. Got it? Whoever leaves the ring is out. So if you quit, I win. The stake is 50 gold coins. If you win, you get 100 back. If not, well, then your money is down the drain. Got it?
Yep.
Let's wait and see what happens.
Nobody ever asked for
You live behind the warehouse?
It's only temporary. When you have as much gold as I do, you can afford a little luxury. I was a drill instructor in the army, but I left that bunch to seek my fortune in adventure. Now I've wound up in this shithole. My last 100 gold pieces went to the guards at the city gate. So, I'm seeing to it that I come into money again. I even had to sell my sword.
You really didn't deserve that.
To whom did you sell the sword?
I swapped it with a trader in the marketplace for some stuff. The guy's called Jorah. The torches and the bit of meat that he gave me are long used up.
He isn't likely to give me the sword for nothing.
It's an old sword. He won't want much for it. Just think of the money as an extra stake for the fight.
This is gonna change.
I wouldn't have done
What do you know about the war against the orcs?
There's not much to tell. The war's been going on for too long. The country people are starving. Everywhere there are peasant revolts that are put down mercilessly by the king. But there's just too many of them. If the war doesn't end soon, the realm will fall apart.
Can you train me?
If you really want to learn how to fight, then go up against me. The lesson is no extra charge.
Where did you pick that up?
I wouldn't have done that. You don't have to ask me that.
I've heard a thing or two.
Hey, you!
You really didn't deserve that.
What's new?
Since the collapse of the barrier, open trade with the big farmer has abruptly stopped.
I knew that would be a problem.
That's nothing new. Nobody ever asks me.
Hey, I haven't got time to chat with you. Talk to Cardiff if you want information.
You didn't get that from me.
Who said that? Who said that?
I wouldn't be so sure. You didn't get that from me.
Who said that? As if I didn't have enough, bro.
How are things?
If you want something to drink, you'll have to order it.
Nobody ever asks me. Let's wait.
I bet you overhear a lot of things.
So what's that to you?
I've always got an open ear for news.
Have you got your purse open then? Every piece of information I give you will cost 10 gold pieces.
Got my own opinion about
Watch out when you tell one.
Someone's gotta do the
That'll only cause more trouble.
It's quite obvious.
All right, agreed.
You struck a good bargain. I'm always at your service.
You already know what
Where did you pick that up then?
I need information.
I already thought as much.
some problems solve themselves. Nobody ever asks me.
I've heard a thing or two.
Where can I find work?
You're not likely to find work down here at the harbor.
Exactly what I
You
said.
need to go to the craftsman in the lower part of town for that. But if you wield a decent blade, you could go challenge Ulrich. He fights for gold behind the warehouse.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
What do you know about the missing citizens?
All I know is that some people have vanished during the last few days. It's especially bad down here at the harbor, they say. Maybe you should ask around here a bit. There were some cases in the lower part of the city, too. If you want to know more, you should talk to Corrigan. He has his tavern in the lower part of town, and he's likely to hear a thing or two. Halvor, the fish merchant down by the quay, might know something, too. Many people frequent him.
Is there any special work to be had around here where I could make some quick money?
Something special, you say? Go talk to Nagur, then. Maybe he can help you.
Got anything special for me to do?
I've got something for you, but that should only interest you if you're a man of versatile talents.
What have you got?
Well, Zorus, the potion vendor in the marketplace, currently has a guest, Darren the fire magician.
And?
He had a new chest made specially for him by Thorben the carpenter. They say that this Darren has bought a bunch of valuable stuff with him. But you didn't hear that from me, understand?
Who can teach me something here?
There are a few competent people here in the harbor district. Carl the blacksmith is a sturdy fellow. I'll bet he can show you how to get stronger. Ulrich knows a lot about fighting, and Laris is a cunning rogue. He's down here at the harbor sometimes as well. And if you're crazy enough to go see old Ignaz, he knows all about almich potions.
Where can I find all these people?
Oh, boy, the king will have won his war against the orcs before I've done explaining that to you. Just look around the harbor district and you're bound to find them. And if you don't know your way about, go to Braham and buy yourself a map. He's easy to find. His hut is right next to my tavern. I should have charged double for that one.
Who counts among the influential citizens in this town?
You won't find anyone down here at the harbor. The only powerful man here is Lamar. The moneylender is not very popular, but he has gold, and other influential citizens owe him money. The merchants and craftsmen also have a lot of influence. Too much, if you ask me.
Who's in debt to Lamar?
If you want to know that, you should take a look in his ledger. Only it might be pretty difficult to do that without him noticing. As far as I know, he always carries it with him.
I need information. Give me something to drink.
It can't go on like this forever. I knew that would be a problem. You should have known better. That's nothing new. I'm not touching that. Where did you pick that up then? And all kinds of rumors.
Who says things like that?
Don't say you didn't know that. That was quite obvious.
Don't tell this to me.
You already know what I think. It was just like you said. I hardly know what to do. You really think?
Who says things like that?
Why haven't I heard about this? I don't believe this is gonna change. He didn't get that from me. It can't go on like this forever. I've heard a thing or two.
Cardiff says you may have a job for me.
Well, well. So you're looking for a special job. Okay. But we play by my rules, understood?
What does that mean?
That means you do what I say and you get a third of the profits. If you don't like it, then there's no job.
You already know what I think.
We're business partners, so it's 50-50.
Okay. I thought I'd give it a shot. Of course, we'll split our profits fairly.
All right, what's your plan?
You know the merchant Baltram, don't you? If not, it's time you talk to him. This Baltram has a messenger who supplies him with goods from Akil's farm. That is, he had a messenger. Until I cut his throat. And now Baltram has to get a new one, and that will be you. Your job is to get hired by Baltram and fetch the delivery from Akil. You bring it to me, and then I'll sell it on to an interested customer. He'll fork over a tidy little sum for it. And just don't try selling the stuff yourself. Have you got all that?
How much will the profit be?
I can't say exactly, but I estimate around 400 gold pieces.
Some problems solve themselves.
Where is Akil's farm?
Leave the city by the east gate. That's directly on the marketplace. If you follow the road to the right, you'll soon come to a few steps cut into the rock. Go up there, and you'll come to Akhil's farm.
When should I talk to Baltram?
You can go right away. He should know by now that his messenger won't be showing up anymore.
Where can I find Baltram?
He has his stall in the marketplace.
Well then, I'm all set.
Good. Then get on your way. But if you try to cheat me, you'll soon be every bit as dead as the messenger. Don't forget.
I've got my own opinion about that.
Hey!
That's totally obvious.
Hey, you!
That was quite obvious. You already know what I think. It can't go on like this forever. Let's wait and see what happens.
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
I couldn't get away with that.
How's the situation?
At the moment, it's quiet. Only the bandits outside the city are causing us problems.
What do you know about the bandits?
They've all come from that blasted mining colony. But there are several splinter groups. Some are holed up in the mountains, and others have joined up with Onar, the landowner. But it's the bandits outside of town who cause the most problems. They're the reason that none of the merchants venture beyond the city gates now.
What do you know about the bandits who robbed Hakon the merchant?
Oh, that matter. Don't remind me. As far as we know, they're responsible for a lot of the attacks on merchants. Those rats have crawled into their holes and don't dare come out again. Once we were able to track them down and follow them, but we broke off pursuit in the woods outside the city. There's too many beasts roaming around there. It's much too dangerous. But there's one more thing. A few of the stolen goods have shown up in Khorinis.
This means that they know how they can smuggle the wares into town and sell them.
Yeah, we suspect they have a fence in the city, but we haven't been able to catch the guy yet. If you find out anything about the business, remember Lord Andre has posted a bounty for the fence.
Where did the bandits who had my wanted poster come from?
We picked them up near the landowner's place, but they didn't look like Onar's people. I think they're part of a smaller group which is holed up in the mountains near Onar's farm. But if you intend to go there, let me warn you. Those cutthroats make short work of everyone.
I'll remember that.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Everybody knows by now. You listen to the wrong people.
He simply talks too much.
You listen to the wrong people.